Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Alan Fiegel, the head football coach at Livonia Churchill. How's it going?
It's going good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it is official. High school football is back in the state of Michigan. You guys have wrapped up your first practice. I should mention today is August 13th, the time of recording. So how was it? How was it getting back out there?
It was good. It's always good. Kids were energetic, focused. It was a good first day, but that's over now, and now we got to be better today. And we're just in helmets, so we look for a repeat performance today for sure.
Okay, so going into this season now in year two, with you, obviously you've been in this program for a long time, but what is it like now knowing that your second year of you as the head coach? Do you feel everything's do you feel like it's your program now?
I mean, I know this is going to sound kind of cliche, but it's not my program. It never will be my program. It's the players' program. I like to say all the time, the players are their engine, and I'm just the guy steering the wheel. But I know what you're trying to get at. Second year, I don't know. I guess I don't really know how to answer that. I'm built for this. So there's a lot of dudes who think they're head coaches. They want, they want all the titles, but they don't want the tasks. I've been the taskmaster in our program since 2010. So with the ups and the downs and the ebbs and the flows, it's kind of just what I do, and so it's kind of business as usual.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about one of your favorite things, the kids, of course. Let's talk about who's returning, some of the guys to watch this year. Let's start with the offense, then we'll go to the defense and then special teams.
Yeah, offensively, we were fortunate enough to have, 4 returning offensive linemen, which is a rarity, and it would have been 5, but our center, Colin, will be more of an H-back, fullback type of kid for us. But yeah, we're returning 4 up front, and that Peyton Gout is a part of that with Isaac Groth and Max Schwessing. Those are 3 juniors for us. Michael Malik will be a 3-year starter for us. He's moved to center, and then we'll have sort of an open competition for the 5th spot going through fall camp here. In the backfield, let me start with the perimeter. Perimeter returning players for us: Nate Broglin, Dom Stanley, Emmanuel Williams. So we definitely have some dudes out on the perimeter. And backfield, we're going to be breaking in a new quarterback, but we have ultimate faith in Ali Talib, and Ali's a program kid and hardworking. He's a leader. He's everything you look for out of a quarterback with intangibles. And then running back wise, tailback wise, I'm looking forward to Dre Ellis stepping into a role. He's worked really hard. He's gained 20 pounds. But Dre Ellis, we've got a newcomer in Braylon Hall that will be back there as well. Tight end wise, we'll have Lucas Beckham, and he'll have the ability to be kind of a Gronk for us, where we can play him in line. We can also split him out wide. And it's hard to find those kind of kids, but Lucas is one of those kids. And in that mix as well at tight end, Landon Day and Ronald Bice, those guys will be in there. And then fullback wise, I already mentioned Colin Fisher, kind of round out our starting group, hopefully.
Yeah. Let's go to the defense now.
Yeah, defense. There's a little bit more replacement due to graduation on the defense side of the ball, but last year was with some of our personnel and injuries and a couple kids being unavailable to start the season. It was a little bit of a challenge, and I think that's never really a good thing. But a positive you can draw out of that is a lot of kids play that maybe you weren't anticipating on playing, that now they're assumed to be returning starters. So defensively, I'll just go with the guys who are returning. Devin Lamar, his season was cut short last year, but he was one of our anchors up front. Woody Solomon will be a returner for us in the middle, on the D line. Linebacker wise, Colin Fisher will be in that mix. Lucas Beckham went from kind of being a safety type of kid to an inside backer. We're going to move Dominic Stanley from corner to safety. The other corners will be held down by Braylon Hall and Emmanuel Williams. And then, Delvon Weidman will be in the mix. Ethan Mazegan will be in the mix to round out our safeties. I look forward to Adonis Graham stepping into a role for us in our program. He was one of the young men that we were going to count on last year that we couldn't get going. So hopefully this year we can get him going. That will probably round out our defense. Obviously, there's always going to be a kid or two who surprises you, who steps up and can take on more of a role. But based upon what I know now after one day, that's kind of what we're looking at.
Okay. What's special teams looking like?
Special teams, that's a point of emphasis for us. And not that it hasn't been in the past, but it was last year. I thought we were pretty darn good on special teams last year. I think we took 2 or 3 punts back for touchdowns, punt returns. So, that's going to remain a point of emphasis for us. We practice it during the summer, during our camps. We started right away day one yesterday with special team stuff. So that is, I think, for some programs and not ours. You try to find kids that maybe have a role on special teams that may not necessarily have a role in offense or defense, but primarily our special teams are going to be our kids who start on offense and defense. And they know that. That's not special teams for us is not, oh, I get to rest for one play. They know that. So I don't have much details for you. It's snap, hold, kick, punt, block, tackle. So yeah. We just got to do the basics better than everybody else in special teams.
All right. Okay, so now we've talked about all the kids. Now let's go through the upcoming schedule.
Okay.
So of course I'll just go through this real quick. Of course, August 30th will be I believe at home against New Boston Huron, if I'm not mistaken. And then of course you get into conference play. Oh, there it is. Of course, September 6th at Wayne Memorial, September 13th at Belleville, September 20th home against Westland John Glenn, September 27th home against Livonia Stevenson, October 4th home against Dearborn Fordson, October 11th at Livonia Franklin, October 18th home against Dearborn, and then October 25th to finish out the regular season will be the KLAA crossover, and the West teams will be hosting this year. So this is a pretty good schedule, but what do you think about this year's schedule you got?
Well, it's the same one as last year. We just flipped the home and away. I think there'll be some reshuffling for next year, but that's next year. So in terms of this year, same challenges. We all got to play each other, right? So I think our challenge is no different than any other school in our division. We have obviously a state power in our division that we have to deal with. But for us, it's truly what's kind of next, what's in front of us. Right now, we're not even talking about week 1 in our program. We're talking about today and Wednesday, and trying to take it. I know it's cliche, but trying to take it one day at a time. But yeah, I mean, it's got its challenges for sure. It's got its challenges. There's no other way I can describe that. Every week's going to be, we better be on our game or we could lose. So.
Okay. All right. Well, Alan, thanks so much for the time as always. And we will talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much, sir.